Well, good morning, Southeast Arkansas. Here we are again. And I find myself apologizing because I haven't posted in quite several days. Everything has been kind of thrown off. Been the weather, catching up at work, just a whole bunch of stuff. You know, my life runs on a real tightrope, so all it takes is one little thing to try to slip its way in, and everything else just kind of goes haywire a little bit. But I'm going to commit to trying to do better. Redo my system, redo my disciplines of daily work, and we'll see if we can make this work a little bit better. But it is time for our morning devotional, and our morning devotional this morning is "Your enemy is not who you think it is." And our verse for our devotional this morning is Ephesians chapter 6, verses 12 and 13. "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm." You know, have you ever been upset about one thing but directed your anger and frustration towards a person who had nothing to do with it? I bet we all have. Here's a big one. Have you ever heard the phrase, "the enemy of my enemy is my friend"? Finally, have you ever noticed that the tendency of politicians is to pick some person or some group, dehumanize them, and convince their supporters that the best way to get that enemy dealt with is to support the politician who stirred things up in the first place? There's no better way to convince a person to be your ally than to convince them that you have a common enemy. If you're a saved child of God, there's another true thing. You actually do not have any enemies, or at least you shouldn't. Of course, you may have people around you who do not have your best interest at heart, and some who actively come against you. They may even hate you. Yet Scripture teaches that we are not to hate back, but are to love those who come against us. You know, that's a tall order, my friends. Unfortunately, there is a lot of hate in the world right now, and Christians are responsible for much of it. It seems like the world is coming against us sometimes, and the only way we see to deal with it is to strike back. My friends, we don't have the God-given right to strike back. That is because those people, even those that we think they're after us, they're not our enemies. What they are is most likely lost heathens in need of the gospel. Next time someone comes after you, remember that your job is not to defend yourself or to attack them back. Your job is to tell them about Jesus. If you have words to say to them, they should be words of life in the form of the gospel. Having said all that, we should remember that we do struggle against a foe, and that foe is the devil and his fallen angels and demons. They are real, and they are after me, and they're after you. Guess what? You don't even have to fight that fight for yourself. God has provided his armor for your protection. All you have to do is put it on. Have a blessed day in the Lord, my friends.